Welcome to Superglue Wooden Pirates. I'm first mate Smee'Bern and this is Mutiny Music episode 2. Today we're going to be reviewing Poppy's new album, I Disagree. Poppy started out in 2011 as a social media personality, posting pop covers onto YouTube. In about 2014 she started a creative partnership with Titanic Sinclair. The video work and the music being produced out of this collaboration became more of a performance art piece. It took on inspiration from Andy Warhol, David Lynch, Tim Burton, and it added an element of creepiness to the production. This later took on a kawaii J-pop, K-pop influence. The first material the two worked on together, which was the first official releases by Poppy, was the EP Bubble Bath. Bubble Bath also introduced the first collaborations between Poppy and singer-songwriter Simon Wilcox, who's known for working with such diverse acts as The Used, Selena Gomez, Rita Ora and Blink-182. The first EP also had a really big ska punk reggae influence to the pop sounds, and was put out through Mad Decent Records, who was Poppy's first record label. This led into Poppy's first album, 2017's Poppy Computer, which had more of an art pop, bubblegum pop sound to it. It also introduced the first hints of electro and synth pop in collaboration with producer Ryosuke Sakai. 2018's sophomore album, Am I a Girl, continued this exploration of electro and synth sounds. Also towards the end of the album there was hints of a new metal influence starting to seep through, especially on the track X. Poppy's work has been stated by some to be a commentary on social media and internet culture. In 2018 she started a website social media platform known as Poppy Church. Also through this she released The Gospel of Poppy, a book, which many people have seen as a statement to this fact. In 2019 Poppy continued her experimentations with the metal genre on the EP Choke. This featured collaborations with the Fever 333 on the track Scary Mask. Being a fan of the Fever 333, this is how I first became aware of Poppy. Also being a rather big wrestling fan, she started soundtracking the pay-per-views for WWE's third brand, NXT. These also started featuring live performances from Poppy and a band, and this is when I first became fascinated in the sound she was creating. I Disagree is the third studio album released by Poppy, and this is put out through Sumerian Records. This comes after an unceremonious departure from Mad Decent Records. Now Sumerian are known for having a background in the prog metal and metal scene, which plays a big influence on the sound from Poppy's latest album. It's also produced by Chris Grady and Zach Savini, who are known for producing artists such as Youngblood, Black Veil Brides, Simple Creatures, Beartooth and Good Charlotte. The album features 10 tracks and has a running time of 35 minutes. It's also notable that this is the first output from Poppy not to feature any collaboration with the songwriter Simon Wilcox. The album cover is the perfect signifier of what's to come from this album. It sets the tone. It's the darkest imagery that has been put out of Poppy yet. The album opener Concrete unveils this new post-genre sound of Poppy's. It hurtles through genres from techno to metal to bubblegum pop, and this track is clearly inspired by the works of baby metal. But it doesn't rest too long in one sound before moving on to a completely different sound, even taking somewhat of a reprieve in a Beatles ELO-esque style breakdown. The track closes out with riffs that are reminiscent of Queen. Lyrically, Poppy makes her mission statement clear: bury me 6 feet deep, cover me in concrete, turn me into a street. She's putting her old identity to rest and moving on. I tried to eat ice cream, I tried to drink tea, but I need that taste of young blood in my teeth. She's not conforming anymore. She's embracing her new self. Title track, I Disagree, is my favourite song on this album. It takes a Deanne Wood inspired vocal delivery to build a sinister undercurrent to a techno metal groove. It also has pop delivery of quite dark lyrics that fight oppression and self-imposed repression. Down, let it all burn down, burn it to the ground. We'll be safe and sound when it all burns down. The tracks Blood Money, Anything Like Me and Feel the Crown bring an industrial metal overtone to the album that's reminiscent of bands such as 9 Inch Nails and Marilyn Manson. Blood Money confronts the morals of an individual. Never forget the excess of a man because the grabbing hands always grab what they can is a subtle reference to Depeche Mode's Everything Counts, whilst Anything Like Me confronts the expectations and perceptions of people. Feel the Crown is another highlight on this album. There's a duality in the pop lyrics and sensibilities that preach of a salvation. You can be anyone you want to be. You can be free. You can be free. Set against a metal omen of oncoming corruption. Poison the fountain. Empty your mind. Follow the leader. The leader is blind. This theme brings the theatrics of the band Ghost to mind, which is also shown in the performances of Poppy and her band live. Also, there's some discussion around who the featured artist on this album is. Most people believe that it's Marilyn Manson due to the close friendship Poppy and Manson have, but it's also been contended that it could be Ghostman, who Poppy is currently dating and was heavily influenced by Marilyn Manson. Nothing I Need and Sit Stay dramatically calm the pace and energy of the album. Dreamy psychedelic trap pop beats become a prominent feature of these tracks. Bite Your Teeth brings spikes of energy in a pounding, Slipknot-inspired snarl of attitude, bracing against pain and confronting it rather than shying away. Sick of the Sun resumes the trap pop soundscapes and also explores depression, about wanting to take a step back from the spotlight and avoiding the attention and scrutiny that the spotlight brings. This brings us to album closer Don't Go Outside. This continues to pursue these motifs with a nihilistic spin. It also has an ominous orchestral undertone, seemingly inspired by the works of Black Sabbath and Ghost. The TV says you're out of time, suck the fear in through your eyes, is a commentary on the media inflaming fear, whilst a mantra builds through the background of everything will be okay, to allay that fear and hold the creeping thoughts at bay. The closing of this track brings the themes of the album full circle with an emotionally fulfilling reprise, reminding you to let it all burn down and bury me 6 feet deep and just cover me in concrete, please. But don't forget that you can be anyone you want to be. The first half of this album is a testament to the potential in the heavier post-genre sound of Poppy's. Unfortunately, due to pacing issues, this momentum and energy is lost in the second half of the album. This is something that could have been addressed in the reordering of the track listing of the album. Also, due to some of the limitations beyond the pop sensibilities on the writing of the record, it feels like even though the themes are addressed, they're not really explored to a great deal, which holds back my emotional investment. It may also be that I'm just not the target demographic for the lyrical content. Also brought to mind on this album is the question of imitation versus influence, because some elements of this are complete rip-offs of tracks and albums that I've grown up with. Due to the elements of performance art piece and social commentary behind the poppy collaborative, it may be that this is a purposeful comment on the modern lust for nostalgia. And it's going to be interesting that since this album was released, Titanic Sinclair and Poppy have split, and this creative parting is going to be interesting to see where Poppy goes from here. Some of the interviews she's been given since have been more open and personal than anything she's done before. Critically, this album was well received, but the inconsistencies were noted. Before this pandemic that's going on and crisis at the moment, Poppy had been touring with Bring Me The Horizon and had lined up tours with Deftones and Gojira. Now, I think this sound might be divisive to some elements of the metal community, but the performance aspect and the strength of some of these signals seems tailor-made for the main stage of festivals. Poppy's I Disagree is inconsistent, but the first half of this album is more than worth the price of admission. The droning hooks, mixed with the catchy pop melodies, are infectious, and they'll remain as highlights on my playlist for a while to come. Cheers for checking out this second episode of Mutiny Music, and don't forget to have a look at Captain Marvel's Sexy in Education, Captain Smee'Bern's SGWP Gaming, and also listen to the lads' podcast available on Apple, Spotify, Spreaker, and anywhere you get your podcasts from. Until next time, peace!